Two questions. Personal question. Do you think Zeldin is going to win for New York?
To be honest with you, I don't necessarily think too many Republicans are going to win this election cycle, only for a couple of reasons. Um, the Republicans, if it wasn't for this whole abortion issue, would have trounced the Democrats easily in almost every state. But after the decision came down from the Supreme Court, so many women, regardless whether they're, left leaning or right leaning, they're all voting Democrat to try to get things to change with Roe v. Wade. Like Roe v. Wade definitely threw a giant like overturning of Roe v. Wade kind of kind of like threw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. If you look at the total amount of donations that like Democrats versus Republicans, dude, the Democrats are doing crazy amounts of money that's going their way. Like it's like some of the races are like 5-1 with the Democrats outraising the Republicans. Now I know that it's just monetary, right? Like, oh, just money. Well, guess what? People feel so compelled to give the Democrats money that they're more than likely to vote for them too. So I think it's just I I hate to say this, but if it wasn't for the abortion issue, the Republicans would have won for sure. Like guaranteed, we would have took the midterms. They would have took the House and the Senate. Um, and and this, I just don't think it's going to happen this time.
So, first, I'll talk specifically about our state or your ex state, soon to be my ex state, New York. Guys, if you guys are not from New York, it's a shithole. It's a freaking shithole. It's a war zone. It's not safe to walk. I don't care what anybody says. And if you think it is, just go on the train. See how safe it is. I dare you to take the train for 2 weeks and not see at least a knife, an axe, or a hammer being pulled out once in 2 weeks. I dare you. It's not possible. Not possible. And Zeldin basically is Republican. Last time I checked, he was like a few points away, and he has a real shot of winning. And the first thing he said is, I'm cleaning up New York. There's now this cashless bail in New York where you can commit a crime, and if it's a misdemeanor, you can. What happening is people are committing crimes. They're going to jail, coming out, committing the crime, going to jail, coming out. And our DA is cool with it. Cops can't do their jobs. And anyway, so I believe New York is going to take this and he's going to clean up New York because everyone's tired of this, the MTAs and stuff. And I don't think that Democrats in New York are going to come out to vote. I think they're just going to be like, oh, New York is always, Democrat. I think.
Dude, I
We'll
wish
see.
I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the abortion issue, everyone and their mother would have voted for Republicans. But because of this stupid abortion issue that's been brought up by these Uber, I mean, I'm not, look, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm somewhere in the middle when it comes to the opinion on abortion. Like, I think women have the right to have an abortion if they want. But guess what? There should be some limitations on it. Like literally, you can't be aborting like a week before you're about to deliver. At that point, it's kind of too late. Like you're gonna make a decision in like 8 months. You got some serious issues. And
Wasn't
not
the
to,
rule
but
3 months, Chris?
you know what?
First
What the
trimester?
what the Supreme Court did was say every state gets to decide their own
Yeah, that
rules,
part I
right?
got.
So it depends on the state. And the other thing is also like people should be allowed to have an abortion even towards the end if it's going to threaten the mother. Like I'll be honest, my wife had a miscarriage, right? And at one point like I was like we had something called a complicated pregnancy where it would have been very difficult for my wife to continue on the pregnancy and we had to make a really terrible decision, right? Now, do I want that decision to be taken away from my wife? Of course not. At the end of the day, this is kind of a personal topic to me. So I feel that it's one of those things that I think sometimes the conservatives get a little too high strung with it, like, oh, we should just ban all abortion no matter what. Like, no, that's a little going too far. And it's kind of the same thing with the left too, like to say that abortion should be unlimited, like everyone should be allowed to have an abortion at any time regardless of situation. Like no, there should be some limitations also. And I think it's the same thing with gun control as well. Like not everyone should be allowed to have a gun, but not everyone should not allowed to be have a gun either. And that's like look at New York, right? If you try to get a like Second Amendment is still there, but go ahead, try to get a gun in New York City to protect yourself. Impossible. Because the laws that they've created, like the city's created, you just can't get a gun, right?
So you can have a premise license. I have one. Anybody come to my house? Have fun. but
Yeah.
you can't get a carry unless you're a business. If you're showing that you're
Hmm.
carrying a certain amount of cash, you can get it. But honestly, I didn't want that shit because it's crazy to have that. But for home defense, you could have it. I was actually in Florida with one of my boys. Shout out to my man Cheeps. He's from Florida, he's a military man. And he's like, I couldn't believe that you could get a gun in New York. I was like, yep, but only for home premise, and the rights to use it is so limiting.
Yeah, and it's weird because like even if you let's say go from like one part of the city to another, you have to keep it in a
Yeah,
lockbox,
yeah,
unloaded. Like
terrible.
this, it's one of those things that's like, dude, unless I'm trying to just use it for home defense, it's completely useless.
It's only for home defense. So
Yeah,
100% home defense, nothing more than that.
yeah.
But everybody who has a home, I think, should have the right and should have a firearm.
Now, see, here's the thing, though, Adam. That this is where New York City is. This is where the rules, like I said, have to be governed by sometimes the city and state. Like you can't have like I was in Nevada and Utah this week, right? Like last week I was on vacation, and the entire time I was there, it was like literally there were miles and miles upon just nothingness. Like imagine right now you have a house and you're living in the middle of nowhere. You think the cops are going to respond to you if you're getting attacked or that? No, they're going to come like 30 minutes at least, an hour away. By that time, you're already dead. You know, whether
100%.
you so people need to have some sort of protection in those areas. So you can't say, okay, we need to live by the rule that everyone can't have guns because the police are around. Well, no, that's not always available to everyone. So I mean, there's so many nuances to this conversation. And I think that we believe it or not, I think everyone from the majority agrees with majority of what people are saying, but no one wants to listen to each other. And we always try to the political side of the world has become too extreme to on either side. Like I'm sure that there's tons of people that are pro-life that are not like, oh yeah, you should be able to abort a kid or a baby a week before it's delivered. Like I'm 100% sure that no, like there are definitely people out there. But guess what? The crazies are out there saying no, it's completely a woman's choice no matter what. Like if she wants to fucking go crazy and start, killing the kid, a week before it's about to deliver, she's allowed to. There's no conversation about that. Like seriously? Come on.
So I'll give you my point of view. I don't know if they canceled this thing or not. No, it's still on. I'll give you my point of view for the abortion. So I don't think that you should. Again, doesn't matter what I say. I'm not a woman, and I think that. Uh, oh, they ended the stream. That's interesting. I think that a woman should choose. I believe that it should be limited to a certain amount. I don't know what that amount is. I know that basically everybody pretty much knows you're pregnant at approximately 3 months. At 3 months, your body is changing and stuff like that. So maybe the first trimester or something like this. Uh, yeah, and because I feel like if somebody, especially if they're raped, God forbid, or something like that, like there has to be other circumstances besides for others. But I'm saying there has to be some extreme circumstances, and some people can't take care of kids that are.
I used to just to clarify, I used to think 3 months was enough time, but believe it or not a lot of people even know that they're pregnant until past that 3 month window. So even that is a little bit kind of hard. I would say and I here's the other thing too. Like I know that people keep saying, "Look, I'm not a woman, so I don't get to have a choice in the matter." Like, dude, that's kind of wrong. Like we are a society. Whether you're a man, woman, it doesn't matter.
I
Like
didn't want to
we're
get my show canceled, but thank you.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like we're a society, and I understand that we as a society can't decide on individual choices, but we shouldn't make it so that individuals get to choose really bad decisions either. Like come on, at the end of the day, we're all big one happy family, hopefully, and we can make some logical, reasoned things so
Yeah,
that you know. And here's the thing: a lot of people would consider what I'm saying to be normal, right? But I'm sure that there's a subset of people saying, "Oh, this guy's trying to tell women how to do, run their bodies." Dude, I honestly not that guy. Trust me. I don't think that if you want to have an abortion a week before you're having a kid, by all means, like if you want to have one, go right ahead. It ain't gonna is not gonna affect me none. All I'm saying is there's got to be some sort of like legislative stop there to say, you know what, at least let women have like like a second guess, like, hey, maybe not do that. You know, maybe they have to get some sort of counseling from a physician saying the risks of, you know, have, and by the way, having an abortion that late is actually comes with its own
Yeah.
inherent risks. So it's not like just, oh my God, like abortions are like easy things to do. Like, no, there's like women can have complications during the abortion process as well. So
So, are you out of New York completely?
no, no, no.
Amazon 20% down.
No, I still work in New York, so I fly back and forth, you know.
Nice. What are your plans for the holidays?
You know, so far, not much, to be honest. Like, me and the wife are trying to have another kid. That's like,
Nice. That's
that's
always
been the
fun.
plan, bro. That's the plan. If you got any pointers, let me know, you know.
Are you? Don't pull out.
I think I got that one covered. But okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
Are you going to be able to make it for November 10th?
Yeah, it's a Thursday, so I'm definitely down, man. I'll definitely see
Guys,
you guys.
we're having a Palantir meetup at 6 o'clock in the city. I'm going to be there, Chris, Ether Squared, Amit, and I'm sure there's going to be at least another dozen people if I had to guess. There's going to be a lot of us. So definitely, definitely let us know and stop by. What else, man? What else is new? What else is going on?
Nothing, dude. I'm just excited about Snowflake. Y'all are gonna hate me because listen, people, I really hope people like, you know what? I should blame myself a little bit for weaponizing this whole Snowflake versus Palantir thing. But that's not the case. Trust me, there's enough room on both sides where both companies can grow very big, very large, and you know, be one of those transformational things. Like, just because you buy Google and you use Android doesn't mean that you hate Apple. Like, dude, I use Google all day, but I have an iPhone. You know, Palantir and Snowflake can, believe it or not, coexist very happily. And I'm sure one day Palantir and Snowflake will have a partnership together. Because right now, if you're running a data warehouse in Snowflake, you can still use Palantir to run your operations, right?
Yeah, but
So
you wouldn't really, if you were using Palantir, you would have no need for Snowflake.
that's not true. That's not
That's
true.
true. There's not a single Palantir
No,
user that uses Snowflake.
no, that's not true, dude. That's
I mean,
I
besides for CodeStrap, who's like a tech guy who's like playing around with it, but there's no like legitimate business that's.
like I said, unless we know, I wouldn't go that far. All I'm saying is each one has its own strengths, and I think that Snowflake's ability to scale rapidly across so many companies gives it some really powerful a really powerful edge on the competition when it comes to like data transfer, like digital transformations that companies have. Like, that's why, think about it, 7,000 companies use Snowflake. That's a crazy amount, you
Listen,
know.
Snowflake is a good company. It's an interesting investment. Again, I'm wishing you all the best of luck. I do think that I don't really mean that, but I do think that because I can't give you luck because that's betting against my home team. I can't do that. But if we weren't betting, then I would wish you the best of luck. Honestly, they have two different markets that like two different markets that kind of overlap here and there. So it is what it is. But there's definitely room for both of them, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's funny how Carp keeps talking about they have 1,000 salesmen, and he keeps talking about them. I'm dying. It's so funny. He keeps bringing it up too.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I one of these things, one of the fundamentals that I hope people really take into consideration is that each one has a lot of strengths that, believe it or not, can be compensated by the other. And each one can probably do well. Believe it or not, if they were a joint company, they might actually do very well. The only thing that I would say is Palantir really, I still believe it in my gut. If it was separated into commercial and government separate, it could actually do very well as two different companies. And like I said, it just becomes easier for the commercial side to be sold too. Like, I know a lot of, like, right now Carp came out and just started going after the woke mob, which personally I love. Like, I hate the woke mob people. Like, seriously, if you're woke, I'm not your fan because y'all policies are just really just out of this world, and sometimes you really need to rethink it, right? But at the same time, I'm also not one of those types of people that's like I get that there's people out there that have values and beliefs, so you don't want to antagonize them. Like that's what Carp just did when he came out. He's like, "Fuck you, like woke ass motherfuckers." Like he didn't say it like that, but I'm sure that's exactly how. If he could curse,
Savage.
it would be like, "Yo, motherfucker, fuck the woke people. Yo, bring it on, Palantir all day." You know, I'm pretty sure that that's what he would have wanted to say. But but he just came out right there and just attacked the woke mob. Let me tell you, there's a lot of people in Silicon Valley that are part of that woke mob, bro. A lot of them, I'm sure.
Well,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, it's funny what he says. Not funny. It's very, very interesting what he says. He's like, listen, you all are freaking filthy rich because of this country. How the hell are you not going to work with this country if this country made you rich? I mean, it's a freaking real statement.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you, dude. I'm totally there. Yeah.
Our country is the reason you have the ability to be woke, right? You can't be
Dude,
woke.
Good times breeds a lot of people to have stupid opinions. Like literally, like my dad gave me some advice. He's like what is it? He said to me, a busy mind is a healthy mind. Like a mind that doesn't have anything to do wanders too much. So I think it's kind of like that with the woke people too, a little bit. That I think we have it so easy in the country that they're able to kind of like have stupid ideas. Like logic leaves you, and you're just like, I wonder if this is normal, and they just kind of want to go with it. Like, and the other thing is, so many people, they don't even have original ideas. They're just regurgitating everything that they're seeing on TV or the internet or social media. Literally, like they have no honest opinions about their own. It's just regurgitating talking points that they heard from somewhere else. Like, and I hate to say this, but it's on both sides too. Like, it's not just the woke mob; it's the right wing folk too that are just like, Donald Trump can say no wrong. Like, I love Donald Trump for certain things, but I'm also like, hey, Donald, maybe stop. So that's one of those things. Like, I don't know. The world is just a really weird place, man.